Welcome to this week's Wednesday Waffle. Well, the English can come to Scotland, the Scotland can go to England, the Welsh can go where they want, and so can we. Something like that. It's all opened up. Let's see how that goes. Well, what are we going to talk about this week? Well, the usual format. What we've been up to, upcoming videos, the waffle. Different this week. And then, of course, wrapping it all up. And if I haven't waffled too long, you might even see some drone footage. But let's see how it goes. So, what have we been up to? Well, at the weekend, we were at a brand new to us spot called Doneduff. And we were there to do a walk and see the Tarnash Falls. Now, this is less than 10 miles from our home. We never even knew it was there. Recent discovery. We've seen, loved it, and no doubt go back again. The videos for that will be coming up soon. But in the meantime, what have we got on offer coming up? Well, tomorrow is Throwback Thursday. And I'm going to be talking about our visit to the Cleveret site. It's a Forestry Commission site at on the shores of Loch Rannoch. And I've no idea what the others taking part will be talking about or showing you, because it's a throwback. It could be anything, and we don't know what things are going to be about until we see them. But that happens Thursday at noon. Please pop along, view the playlist, see everybody's videos. There's bound to be something there you like. My video would be nice. Be like that, yeah, okay. Friday is the second part of our Easter exit, and it's video from Glenmulliach and Blefindi Castle. Although I couldn't fly the drone, you can get inside the castle with a camera. Monday is Lindsay's photo diary from Balcorach, place we've been before, and it's one of our favourite spots. It's not just because it's got a very poor internet signal. It's by the river, and yes, it's that place I fell in the river. And on Friday, the end of our Easter exit, as it's been called, from Balcorach, with some video from me not falling in the river. And of course, next Wednesday we also have a waffle. So that brings us to the waffle. And no rant, no nothing, no me going off on something is the plan. Actually, what I'm going to talk about is things in our caravan, and possibly your caravan. I should have made this a challenge, shouldn't I? Or motorhome or camper that are not used for their intended purpose. You might have guessed something along those lines from the title. However, each one of these things is too small in its own right to be a waffle or a haver or whatever, but it's worth a little, mention. One, washing basin for wastewater. Yes, we used a washing basin. It was our first ever trip. We'd never owned a caravan before. Previously we'd had the tent, and that's all we had to let the water fall into. And we did have to be reminded to empty it. Well, there you go. So a broom handle antenna. Sorry, a broom handle for an antenna, and then later on a curtain rail. I broke an antenna pole as we were headed for Orkney. Didn't need to be very high, it was to get me into the repeater on Orkney with VHF, but it needed to hold the antenna off the ground. We found an 8-foot dowel rather than a broom handle in a hardware store in Caithness, and that became my antenna. It provoked a little bit of amusement when a local at the site we were on asked me if I was tracking the birds in the bay. Actually, I wasn't. I was pointing from Stromness towards Kirkwall, which is where the repeater was situated. And to keep the theme going, that dowel is now a dividing curtain rail within Desmond. We put that extra one up for when we go to bed in the winter, or we've got the cat with us because she likes a little bit of privacy. But in the winter, it just gives an extra bit of draft proofing as well. In the past, you know those car sun blinds that you use? You know, you put them beside the kids, and yeah, those ones, yeah. We've used them in skylights in the past to cover on that. Yes, that was that first caravan we had, and yeah. We have in the house we've got built-in wardrobes in the 3 bedrooms, and they each had an underslung rail for hanging clothes on. Well, the wardrobe in here is just a storage cupboard, so those rails, or one of them, is now in Desmond. Yeah, it's being used as a net curtain holder. The net curtain that is thinner weave than the net that they give you in a door to keep out the dreaded midge, and it works a treat. So the main two things. Well, the first one is a little bit strange in that these days caravanners all worry about nose weight and trailer weight and curb weight and this weight and that weight. When we first started, our little 10-foot caravan probably weighed more than most of the 16, 20 footers today. And weight wasn't thought of. And we had this lovely step which we used for entry and exits to the caravan, and it had nice little brushes on it. You could clean off your boots, and so you didn't track mud into the van itself. Yeah. It was huge, cast iron monstrosity that Lindsay had picked up in a local auction, and I'd painted with white hammerite, and the brushes were already fitted. It was nothing to do with caravanning. It was originally used in a stable to stand beside a horse and brush it down, groom it, that's the word I was looking for, etc. It was a stable steps, but they worked great for getting in and out of our caravan. They weighed a ton. These days you certainly wouldn't be thinking about putting them in your caravan or your boot. And okay, we'll get to what the title's all about. Crowbars with tent pegs? Well, it wasn't tent pegs, it was awning pegs. And it was on a caravan club site, and it was open all year, and they decided they were going to have fitted some of these new super pitches. Now, they were a great idea. You know, you've got your water, your drainage plumbed in effectively. They were a brand new shiny item then. They weren't the commonplace thing they are now. The site was a little bit greedy, shall we say. These pitches were not ready for use. They put us on them, and they were huge, great lumps of gravel. It wasn't gravel, it was chucky stones kind of thing, bigger than your normal stuff that would be on a hard standing. And it was reasonably windy. We got our awning up where we were wasn't too bad, and we got our awning up with rock pegs, which seemed to be holding even in the wind. There was one or two needed holding down with boulders, But yeah, we managed them. But our friends had a porch awning, and they couldn't get their pegs to stop in. So the next day we went down to the local hardware store to see if we could find something, and hoping to get some rebar or something like that, and we could get cut up and use as pegs. Couldn't find anything, but Alec found a couple of crowbars. So he brought these back, just little short crowbars, not the big ones, and he popped them in the corner, and they held well. So of course, that's it. Exodus, back, down we went, emptied the hardware store of crowbars, and yeah, that's why we were using them for... when the wind got up, it kept them in place. It kept the awning in place. It was solely down to the fact that these pitches hadn't bedded down. But crowbars for awning pegs. I used the word tent pegs because it kind of seemed to be a better title. So nothing controversial this week. Perhaps if you're out there and use sufficient things for not their intended purpose, perhaps you could comment below, or even do a video along the same lines. Perhaps we should call it the Crowbars for 10 Pegs challenge. But no, nothing triggered me enough to replace this week. There was something, but it can wait. It's not going to go away in a hurry. It's nothing to do with COVID or anything like that. It'll probably be as relevant in a month, in a year's time, so it can wait. But that's it. So I'll shut up for now, leave you with some drone footage, and I'll be back next week for a Wednesday waffle with a bit of a rant to it. And hopefully you'll stick with us and watch this week's videos, starting tomorrow with Throwback Thursday and through next week. Here's some drone footage.
Thank you for watching Desmond's Donners. And remember, please take nothing but memories and leave nothing but tracks. Please subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, and hopefully we'll see you next time.